The most powerful locomotive ever built in America was so loud it was banned from cities, so hot it melted roads, and so extreme it earned nicknames like Big Blow and Bird Cooker. This is the unbelievable story of the Union Pacific Gas Turbine-Electric Locomotive, the GTEL. I first encountered this machine while exploring the Illinois Railway Museum. Among thousands of historic locomotives, one stands out for its sheer size, power, and insanity. Built by Union Pacific, the GTEL remains the most powerful locomotive ever constructed in the United States. And it wasn't just powerful, it was terrifying. Union Pacific's obsession with power began long before the GTEL. In the late 1930s, the railroad experimented with steam turbine-electric locomotives in collaboration with General Electric. The goal was to replace steam with something faster, stronger, and more advanced than the early diesels of the day. But those early turbine experiments proved unreliable. Breakdowns were common, journeys went unfinished, and the idea was shelved, at least for a while. Then came the big boy steam locomotives, and Union Pacific got a taste for brute force. By the late 1940s, diesel locomotives simply couldn't compete. A big boy could produce around 7,000 horsepower, while early diesels struggled to reach 1,500. To match steam, multiple diesel units had to be coupled together, which was expensive to run and maintain. Union Pacific wanted something cheaper and stronger. That's when General Electric returned with gas turbines. In 1948, GE and the American Locomotive Company built a gas turbine electric prototype producing 4,500 horsepower. Union Pacific tested it relentlessly, putting more than 100,000 miles on it across the network. They were impressed enough to order an entire fleet. Mechanically, the GTEL worked like a diesel electric, but instead of a diesel engine, it used a gas turbine. The turbine spun a generator. The generator powered traction motors, and those motors unleashed raw force onto the rails. But the real madness was the fuel. Instead of diesel, the GTEL burned bunker C fuel oil, a thick black sludge with the consistency of molasses. It had to be heated to 200 degrees Fahrenheit just to flow. The locomotive started on diesel first, spun the turbine up to speed, then switched over to the heavy fuel. Industrial insanity on wheels. Early units carried 7,200 gallons of fuel. Later, Union Pacific converted steam locomotive tenders into massive 24,000-gallon fuel wagons, allowing GTELs to haul freight nearly 1,000 miles non-stop. Then there was the noise. Gas turbines scream, and these screamed like jet engines. The sound was so extreme that some California cities banned them outright. On mountain routes like Sherman Hill in Wyoming, GTELs teamed up with steam and diesel locomotives to climb brutal gradients. The sound was like thunder ripping through the landscape. Steam engines and diesels were completely drowned out. The nickname Big Blow was well earned. And then there was the heat. GTEL turbines burned fuel at 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit. Exhaust blasted out at 150 miles per hour, reaching temperatures as high as 850 degrees. Birds flying behind the locomotive were literally incinerated mid-air, earning the nickname Bird Cookers. In Ogden, Utah, a GTEL starting under a road bridge once melted the pavement above it. Sometimes it even caught fire. Yet somehow, these machines were initially a success. They were cheaper to run than steam and diesel, hauling enormous freight loads using low-cost fuel. By the mid-1950s, GTELs hauled 10% of all Union Pacific freight and logged millions of miles. Some individual units ran for over 17,000 hours. Union Pacific doubled down. In 1958, the final generation arrived, and they were monsters. These locomotives came in three sections: a control cab with a diesel engine, a central turbine unit producing 8,500 horsepower, possibly 10,000 at sea level, and a massive 24,000-gallon fuel tender. The full consist stretched over 166 feet long and weighed close to 1 million pounds. They remain the most powerful locomotives ever built in America. But perfection came at a cost. Bunker C fuel caused severe corrosion. Maintenance was brutal, fuel consumption was enormous, and when heavy fuel prices rose, the economics collapsed. By 1970, the turbines were gone. Most were scrapped. No operational examples survive today. Only 2 escaped destruction and survive as museum exhibits, silent stripped and incomplete. They will likely never move again, but their legacy lives on, loud, hot, overpowered. A moment in history when American railroading chased absolute excess and succeeded. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, share it with fellow railway fans, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from the world of railways.